Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Harvey, and I'd like to talk to you about the keys to getting published in Anglo-American academic journals. This is part of a letter from the editor of a top-tier American academic journal to a researcher. Dear Mr. X, thank you for submitting your article, Frowns Greet New J-Grads in Magazine Job Market, for consideration in Journalism Educator. We have a stack of other articles submitted by professors from across the country, but yours is so interesting and well written that we plan to publish it in the very next edition and make it the lead article, the #1 article in the journal. Would you like to receive a letter like that the next time you submit an article to a top-tier international journal? Would you like to know what it was, specifically, that appealed so much to the editor? Let's read the first 150 words of the article and see if we can figure it out. Many magazine editors are not pleased with the quality of journalism graduates being sent out into the job market. Quote, after years of experience hiring junior editors with degrees in journalism, I have concluded that we're better off taking English majors. And I know several colleagues who share this attitude, said the editor of Boating Magazine, Richard L. Rath. Quote, unhappily, a degree does not guarantee that the recipient understands even the most basic grammar and punctuation, end quote. Indeed, 57% of the magazine editors recently surveyed agreed that journalism graduates are poorly prepared or not prepared at all to handle magazine editorial positions. And that opinion was shared by small and large publications alike. The editor of Good Housekeeping, John Mack Carter, said the only way he would hire a recent journalism graduate would be if the individual were, quote, the offspring of my company president, end quote. Why do you think the editor was so excited about this article? Explain how you think it compares with other academic articles you have read or perhaps even written. Would it surprise you to know that this 28-year-old researcher was only in his first semester of his master's curriculum when he wrote this article, but that he himself had a journalism degree and had already worked as a newspaper reporter and editor for 4 years? Why would this surprise you, or why wouldn't it? Why might this journalistic approach be helpful for other academic writers? That article was actually one that I wrote in 1978, nearly 40 years ago. I was concerned, almost scared to submit the article, even though I was encouraged by my professor to do so. Why do you think I felt so anxious? The journal editor's response taught me important lessons that I have used throughout my academic career. What do you think those lessons might be? I recently co-authored a fairly technical book, the title of which sounds kind of scary. Its title is Handbook of Research on Human Social Interaction in the Age of Mobile Devices. Frankly, I did not like the title. Why do you think I objected to the title? Frankly, I thought the title was too complex and hard to quickly comprehend. So how do you think I tried to write my 7 chapters? Why do you think writing more like a journalist might be even more important for academic writers who are not native English speakers and are trying to get research published in English language journals? Already we have looked at an example of simple academic writing by a former journalist, me, who is now a professor. How does journalistic writing differ from typical academic writing? Why do you think journalists write differently than most academics? In writing more simply, are journalists restricted from writing about complex topics? Why or why not? There are several important reasons why academic writing would benefit by being simplified. First, for readability and skimmability. Everyone, including academics, are in a hurry. The simpler we write, the easier and quicker it is for anyone to skim or read an article, as they might prefer. Number two, it's more likely to be grammatically correct, especially for writers for whom English is not their native language. Shorter sentences, simpler paragraphs, and shorter, more common words will be more likely to avoid misuse and misspelling of words, errors in punctuation, and incorrect grammar. And finally, it's more likely to be published. If an editor or reviewer has to stop too often or reread material too often in order to understand what you're trying to say, the article will likely be rejected. So as you prepare your articles for publication, think about these things. Think how a journalist might approach it. Think about writing simply, clearly, shorter words, shorter sentences, shorter paragraphs, and I guarantee you're more likely to be published.